Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Molly Nicholson. I'm the Public Information Manager for the County of Orange. Thank you for joining us today for our public budget workshop. I'm going to introduce a couple folks here today that are here to talk about the public workshop. Today we'll have our CFO, Michelle Arguiri, who's going to give the overview of our budget, as well as Kim Engelby, who is our budget director, that's going to give an overview. We're going to go over a couple different documents for the public today. But I also want to kind of describe some of the stuff that you can find online. We did drop a press release last week, and you can find a lot of the information on our social media that we've put. If you found us in relation to this event, you probably found it out on social media. So our press release, which is on ocgov.com/news, has information about the budget itself, as well as some documents that are out there. One really handy guide that you can follow along with in relation to all this information that's going to be presented today is our Citizens Guide to the Budget, the 2023 budget, which can be found online. So this is a printed copy of it. It has a lot of great information that are going to go over a lot of the documentation that you're going to see here today. Is a great overview for the general public to take a look at. So do take a look at that. There's also information that's on our website about budget augmentation requests and such that gets in a lot more detail that you can take a look at. It's on our website, as well as budget volumes, if you really want to go into great detail about all the budget information. And this is budget volume number 1, and then budget volume number 2. All this information is on our website, but again, we're not going to be going over all this great information today, but you can find it online. But this is a really good quick guide for our general public to take a look at. Our communications team, along with our budget team, put this together. We did it last year for the first time. Do take a look at this because it's a really handy guide for the general public to take a look at. So again, this is streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our Granicus website. The presentation that you'll be seeing today has also been put on our website for our website for our budget team. So do take a look at that. You can download it and take a look at it while you're following along as well. And then if you have any questions that are at the end of this presentation today, you can call in if you haven't come down in person today. That number to call in for questions is 844-767-5679, access code 999-5317. Again, 844-767-5679, 999-5317. And we'll repeat that a couple times, and especially once we get done with this, we'll repeat it one more time. If you go onto our Twitter handle at OCGovCA, you'll be able to see all this information, including all the links to our social media feeds, to find out where you can find this information to call in. And so with that, I'm going to call Michelle up here to lead us off in this budget presentation. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Molly, and good afternoon, everyone. Let me just adjust this mic a little bit down. Molly's much taller than I am. So I'm Michelle Arguiri. I'm the county's Chief Financial Officer, and I'm going to be presenting today, as well as Kim Engelby, our Budget Director, and we're going to switch off. So you'll see us changing places throughout today's presentation. And like Molly said, Kim and I will be available for questions at the end of today's presentation. So again, I'm Michelle Arguiri, County's Chief Financial Officer. I've been with the county for about 33 years and have been CFO since 2015 and was in Kim's position previously as the county's Budget Director. So prior to diving into the county's fiscal year 22-23 budget, I want to talk a little bit about the county's mission and vision and give you some context about the budget development process. And so you'll see that the county's mission, and one of the vision statements in particular, it's stewardship, uses the term cost effective. And our Board of Supervisors and the public expect us, right, county staff, to deliver services to the community in a cost-effective manner. And you'll see coming up why that's important. It's because the majority of the fiscal year 22-23 $8.8 billion budget is restricted to specific purposes. There's only a small amount that is flexible or discretionary. So that small amount, we have to use it wisely and, again, be cost effective in everything that we do. And then in addition to the county's mission and vision statement, we also have board strategic priorities that guide us in the development of the county's budget each year. Not only the county's budget, but also the county's strategic financial plan. And so if you were listening in back in December, we had another workshop on the county's strategic financial plan. And now we've got this one on budget. And we're glad you were able to join us today. So the priorities that were established by the board back in 2012, that was the time period when we were coming out of the Great Recession. And then the board reaffirmed those priorities in 2015. And when I meet with the board on an annual basis during our strategic financial planning process, I review these with them, see if they want any updates or modifications to the priorities. But they're really good strategic priorities that guide us. And so they've not changed since 2015 and not even since 2012. So the first one, there's actually 5 priorities. But in the work that Kim and I do and Kim's budget team do, there's really the two, the first and the last, that apply to what we do with the budget and strategic financial planning. So the first is to stabilize the budget and prepare for contingencies. And what that means is, if you think stabilize the budget, and it was when we were coming out of the Great Recession, it was to be able to balance our budget without the use of reserves. So we needed to be able to pay for our ongoing costs with ongoing funding and one-time costs with one-time funding, not drawing money out of reserves each year to balance our budget. Just like your home budget, right? You cannot continue to draw money out of your savings account to pay your bills, or you'll end up with no money in your savings account. You have to live within your means, within your available resources, without tapping that reserve, biweekly or every month. And then to prepare for contingencies, that means to build our reserves, to prepare for the rainy day. So we've had 2 of those rainy days recently with the Great Recession, which was a while back, but it's still fresh in our memories, and then also with COVID. And so because the county has this priority that guides us when we're working on our strategic financial plan and our budget, the county had sufficient reserves at the time of the Great Recession and then also when COVID hit to be able to continue to operate without having a negative impact on the services that we provide to the community. So we didn't have to make any reductions to those services. So now we're in the process of rebuilding those reserves. We did have to draw $80 million out of reserves during COVID, and that was just because of the timing of receiving our FEMA revenue, and I'm going to talk about that coming up. And so it's good that we had that in reserve. So just like the county, right, for your home budget, you have a savings account to prepare for that rainy day. Maybe your vehicle breaks down, or you have a leak in your roof, for example. And then the last one here that applies to us is to address and fund agency infrastructure. And the county is a very large organization with many facilities. And so we have to plan and save and budget for facility maintenance, repairs, renovation, and replacement. So just like your home budget, where maybe it's not a leaky roof, but you actually need to replace your roof. You don't have an auto repair, but you need to replace your vehicle. The county operates the same way, just on a larger scale. When it comes to agency infrastructure, The county also has a capital improvement plan and an information technology plan, and then the various departments, depending on what they're responsible for, may have their own long-term plans, and we update those annually through our strategic financial planning process. Okay, so this slide shows the cycle for the county's strategic financial plan and the county's budget. And so you'll see the county's strategic financial plan is really what kicks it all off. And that's August through December. And through the strategic financial planning process, we're forecasting out 5 years for our expenditures and our revenue. And the first year of the plan is the following year's budget. So for example, we did our 2021 strategic financial plan, and the first year of that was the 22-23 budget. So we already had an idea of what our 22-23 budget is going to look like way back in the August to December timeframe. And at that time, we identified a gap in resources or a gap in revenue that then allowed us to work with our departments and come up with solutions in advance of the budget development process. So strategic financial plan is key in this cycle. Then once we get through strategic financial plan, we have our budget development process, which is January through June. So from issuance of our budget instructions to the budget hearings and final budget adoption in June. And Kim's going to go into more detail about the budget development, so I'm not going to do that. Then, as part of our budget development process, we need to look at our current year budget. So for 22-23 budget development, we looked at our 21-22 budget multiple times, right? It says February and May, to see where we're at and identify whether or not we may have resources available that are going to carry over into the following year, so the 22-23 budget that we need to budget for. And then finally, we have our budget reports. So we do have mid-year budget reports where we are reconciling to the final state or federal budgets if needed. Maybe we're recognizing an increase in revenue or new grant revenue. One of our departments may have a new resource need that wasn't identified during the budget process. And so we do report to our board at least in January and September, and then if we need to go more often, we do that also. The last 2 years, we've also had budget reports in April. So I am going to pause there, and Kim is going to come up and talk a little bit more in detail about our budget development process.
Thank you, Michelle. So I am Kim Ingleby. I am with the County Budget Office. I'm the County Budget and Finance Director. I have been with the county for about 25 years, the last 7 of which have been in the Budget Office, and this is my first year as the Budget Director. So as previously mentioned, the annual budget cycle begins with the Strategic Financial Plan. Starting with the blue box, the county prepares a 5-year strategic financial plan. And in the plan, assumptions are tested, such as the growth in revenue or the timing of planned capital projects, to see what the impacts are for the departments and for the county. The departments include these assumptions into their 5-year plan, which we then compile, and we provide the Budget Office with an estimate of the financial and operational needs over the next 5 years, including any budget shortfalls or needs for expansion, as Michelle mentioned. This process begins in August with a completed strategic financial plan placed on the board agenda as a receive and file item for the second meeting in December. Moving on to the purple box, the departments are provided detailed budget instructions which are derived from the assumptions tested with the strategic financial plan. And they build their budgets for the next fiscal year, and any requests to augment their budget with respect to appropriations or positions are submitted along with the budget as either a restore or expand augmentation request, which is presented separately for board approval. And I'll go over this in more detail later in the presentation. The annual budget process follows immediately after the strategic financial plan, with the department's budgets due on March 1st. And that brings us over now to the green box, just moving along. This is where the collaboration and CEO recommendations come into play. So once the budgets are submitted, the county budget office spends the next 2.5 months where we are analyzing, confirming, researching, and working with the departments to fully understand the budget requests. The department's request is compared with their strategic financial plan and the budget instructions that were issued. There is also a budget balancing process where the request for funding and the amount of funding available are analyzed and needs and projects are prioritized. From this, the CEO recommendations are formulated for the approvals or deferrals to be included with the public budget hearings, which are in June and shown here in the orange box, public budget hearing and adoption. So the June board meeting, both of them are primarily, or the first board meeting in June, which is typically the second Tuesday, is primarily dedicated to the presentation of the county's recommended budget. This is the public budget hearing. And prior to the public budget hearings, the recommended budget book is posted on the internet. As Molly mentioned earlier, they are there now. The public budget hearings include a fiscal overview of the county along with a budget presentation by program. The board provides non-binding straw votes to let us know how they will vote for the budget when it's brought to the next board meeting. And they also include votes on the restore and expand augmentations. In addition, at the public budget hearings, the board may also request changes to be incorporated into the annual budget, and all is brought back to the board with all the changes made at the following board meeting, which is 2 weeks after the public budget hearings. And then in addition, there are 2 opportunities throughout the year to adjust the budget, as Michelle mentioned, which are September and January, and then if needed in April. And this is the visual representation of the strategic financial plan and budget development process calendar. You'll see here the months that are marked with the oranges. They identify meetings where budget actions are brought to the board. So starting where we are now, which is at the end of the loop, the second Tuesday in June, this meeting is dedicated for the public budget hearings that I just covered. The fourth Tuesday in June is when the final budget is approved by the board. There are no presentations made at this board meeting on the budget. At this point, the budget includes all requested changes, and when approved, it becomes the annual budget for the County of Orange. And I mentioned there is no planned presentation for the budget at that meeting. The presentation is done at the public budget hearings the second Tuesday. In September, this is the first opportunity where the board may amend the budget. As you see here, the budget is approved in June, which is prior to the end of the fiscal year, and it's based on the year-end projections. So the September budget update reconciles the approved budget with the year-end closing process. We're reconciling the projections used to build the budget with the actual year-end results. Then in December, as previously mentioned, the strategic financial plan is presented to the board as a receive and file item. There are no recommended actions associated with that. This is provided as an informative report to confirm the county priorities, and it provides a preview of what to expect with the budget development process. The January mid-year budget report provides departments the opportunity to seek adjustments to their budgets to meet their operational needs. Typically, they are adjusting their budgets to align with current funding projections, or possibly to expand to increase their budget due to equipment needs or capital expenditures, etc. And then moving down to April. In April, based on year-end projections received, there is another opportunity to primarily address the appropriation shortfalls, if any were identified. And as a reminder, there are 2 board meetings each month, the second and fourth Tuesdays typically, and all present an opportunity to provide public comments, including at the public budget hearings. So when developing and presenting the budgets, there are rules there are guidelines, and there are other protocols that are to be followed. The budget must be balanced. It must follow a fiscal period of July 1st to June 30th. The format is set to ensure consistency in reporting with respect to other counties in the categorization of expenditures and revenues. The County Budget Office compiles and publishes the recommended and annual budget books. They are posted online, the county's website, and they are presented by program. The books are even organized by program, and we have 7 programs. The first is public protection. The second is community services. Third is infrastructure and environmental. So that would be like your airport, your landfills. Fourth is general government services, just as it sounds. There's your auditor controller, your CEO's office, clerk recorder, treasurer, etc. Capital improvements is number 5. 6 is debt service. 7, insurance, reserves, and miscellaneous. And all of this budget development is done in compliance with the government code, and the budget is submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, for review and consideration for an award in excellence. And the GFOA reviews the budgets nationwide. They're looking at the content, how it's presented, and how easily it can be followed. There is a peer review process with comments and suggestions provided back to us so that we can improve our process. And the County of Orange has consistently received this award since it first applied back with fiscal year 15-16 budget. So these next 2 slides that I'm going to go over list the activities, the policies, and oversight committees that ensure a fiscally responsible budget is developed and presented to the board. The County Budget Office monitors the fiscal forecasting provided by UCLA and Chapman University. In addition, we have a contracted consultant that helps guide us in our projections on the sales tax-based revenues. Each year, the county and the departments update their 5-year strategic financial plan and maintain an active capital and IT project list in priority order. There is a formal process to identify strategic priorities, which are large projects or expansion of services, so that the county can be strategic in the planning of resources and be at the ready should any funding become available. The county's fund balances and reserves are constantly monitored, and having a strong fund balance is critical for the county. It signifies strong fiscal health, and it is a significant factor with the county's credit and bond ratings, which then attract investors for our bonds, which then impacts interest rates charged. The target reserve amount is set at 2 months of the general fund operating revenue budget, and the projected balance at the end of this fiscal year is about $582 million, and the target for next fiscal year is about $619 million, and that is aligned with our reserve policy. And then this is a listing of the various county policies that either provide guidance or outlines a process for committee approval. The purpose of these policies is to ensure consistency across the county and year after year. And they can be found in the county's strategic financial plan, which is on the county's website through the link that is shown here. The committees listed here, Public Financing Authority, Audit Oversight, and Treasury Oversight, were established by the board and consist of county and public members and provides recommendations or reports to the board regarding internal audits, public financing, and the treasurer's compliance with the annual investment policy. And with that, I am going to turn this back over to Michelle. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the majority of the county's $8.8 billion budget for fiscal year 22-23 is restricted to specific purposes. And it's only $975 million of that budget that is discretionary or flexible revenue that has to be used for a number of purposes, whether those are mandated services or non-mandated. And so each year when we balance the budget, it's a challenge to do that with the limited amount of funding that we have for that purpose. And of the $975 million The majority of that, about 95%, is property tax revenue, so about $926 million. And I'm going to speak to that on the next slide. But basically, that $975 million has to be used to pay for salaries and employee benefits. Those are the employees that are providing the services to the community. And the majority of what the county is providing is mandated. About, for example, in the area of public protection, it's 99% is mandated service. And then, of course, there's a small piece that's non-mandated, so maybe that's above and beyond. There's an area that we want to provide enhanced services, but very little because of our restricted revenues or for a specific purpose. And then as Kim mentioned, we have our capital improvement plan, our information technology plan, and then our strategic priorities. And strategic priorities, as Kim mentioned, those are the big or new projects or programs, and they exceed $1 million or more in any 1 year. So again, competing needs that are identified primarily through our strategic financial planning process and limited for that limited funding. So I mentioned the property tax revenue, and property tax revenue makes up 95% of what we call our general purpose revenue. And so that general purpose revenue is the discretionary revenue that the board can allocate across the programs that Kim described. So, for example, public protection or community services. And the county receives the lowest share of property tax revenue in the state, only 5 cents for every dollar collected. And so that's why it's so challenging for the county to deliver services, I should say, right, and to balance its budget, to be able to do more, right, the non-mandated, the enhanced. So for example, the statewide average is 14 cents, county receives 5. San Diego County, a county that's similar in size with 3 million people, receives 12 cents. So if we're at $926 million in property tax revenue, let's say, they get more than double, so $1.8 billion to serve the same size population. So a little frustrating for us when we're balancing the budget. We wish we had that $1.8 billion. But the allocations, those percentages were set in statute back in, you can see at the bottom of the slide, 1978, it's AB 8, if you wanted to go research that on your own. So in order for Orange County to receive a higher allocation of property tax revenue, we would need a change in the law. We would also need somebody else to be willing to give up some of their property tax revenue, because there's only $1. And so if Orange County's receiving 5 cents, right, schools are receiving 62 cents, cities 11 cents, somebody would have to give up some of theirs in order for the county to receive more. And obviously they don't want to do that. So this slide provides a look at the county's $8.8 billion budget for fiscal year 22-23 by programs. And Kim already mentioned those programs. The Community Services Program has the largest budget. And you can see that the majority of the budget is in the green. So it's the dedicated revenue. And there's a smaller part in the orange. That's what we call our net county cost, or what I referred to previously as our general purpose revenue. So general purpose revenue, again, majority property tax revenue, is allocated to departments, right? And the board approves the use of those monies through the annual budget adoption process. And on the expense side, it's called net county cost. So it's the general purpose revenues that are allocated to be spent. It's called net county cost. And so for the Community Services Program, that's the largest area of the budget. And that's because those departments, the Healthcare Agency, Social Services Agency, OC Community Resources, and Child Support Services, are providing services to the community primarily on behalf of the federal and state governments. So that dedicated revenue is restricted to those purposes. For example, CalWorks program, the CalFresh program, you may know that as food stamps, our in-home supportive services program, Medi-Cal. So we can't take those revenues and use them for any other purpose. You see, there's a small amount of net county cost in community services, and that's primarily to meet the match requirement for the various programs. For example, CalWorks has a 5% county match requirement, so we have to take some of that $975 million and use it for the CalWorks match. We have a 15% match requirement for CalFresh, so we're taking money from the $975 million and using it for that purpose. You can see that also the position count, county position count, is also on this chart. So you can see the majority of the county's positions are also in that program area. And then for Program 1, Public Protection, the majority of the county's discretionary revenue, or what's called, right, the general purpose revenue on the revenue side, and then we call it net county cost on the expense side, is in Program 1 for Public Protection. And this is where the majority of the county's mandates are. So the services or the functions that the county's required to provide are in public protection. That's our sheriff, so we have to have a county jail, we have a crime lab, we've got the coroner's office, for example, we have our probation department, the district attorney, and our public defender. And so those are functions that the county is required to provide with its general purpose revenue. And so that's why the majority of that discretionary revenue is in that area of the budget. And then we've got infrastructure and environmental resources, the next largest area, and that's John Wayne Airport, waste and recycling, and our public works department, which is flood, road, for example, those operations. And then general government services, Kim mentioned a few of those. It's our auditor, controller, assessor, treasurer, tax collector, our board offices, county executive office, clerk of the board. So those budgets are in Program 4, general government. And then capital improvement, again, talked about that, our infrastructure needs and budget. Debt service, we have very little debt. County's got very little debt, but we do have a specific program for budgeting that. And then insurance reserves and miscellaneous. And most of the budgets in that area are for our internal service funds. And so that is for transportation, ISF, internal service fund, our information technology internal service fund. So it's county departments or budgets, right, that are providing services internally to other county departments in order for those departments to operate and provide the services to the community. I'm going to pause here and invite Kim back up to start talking a little bit more in detail about the county's fiscal year 22-23 budget.
Thank you. So this pie chart provides the visual representation of the revenue sources. As mentioned, the general purpose revenue, also known as discretionary revenue, is shown at the top here in orange, and that is at $975.3 million. The other two sections, dedicated revenue and other general fund, are non-discretionary revenue sources. They total $7.8 billion. So 89% of the total $8.8 billion in revenue is either restricted or required to be dedicated to a specific purpose. Dedicated revenues are those that are earned by the county or allocated to the county as are restricted to use for the program or service, as Michelle mentioned. And these are typically held in special revenue funds, and they carry their own fund balance outside of the county general funds. And examples include revenues for the airport, the landfills, roads, parks, libraries, housing. Other general fund revenues that are dedicated are also for a specific purpose, but pertain to departments or programs within the general fund. And these are commonly state or federal allocations or grants, and primarily found in the community services departments. Often, as Michelle mentioned, for state and federal grants, there is that match or maintenance of effort requirement where the county has to provide a portion of its own funding, typically the general purpose revenue, in order to receive the state or federal funding. So of the $975.3 million shown here as general purpose revenue, much of that is allocated out to the departments based on the match or MOE requirements, and they also are providing funding for the required mandated services or programs that the county maintains. So this is the priority for this funding. And once the general purpose revenue is allocated, the amount available for discretionary use is significantly less, which is why the strategic planning process is so critical. So here's a listing of the major revenue sources for the county. And just so you know, each of these revenue sources are monitored closely internally, as well as through our economic forecasts that are received. The general purpose revenue, as Michelle mentioned, is made up of property tax. I showed just the one property tax, which is $922 million, and that's the amount that's anticipated for fiscal year 22-23. Realignment, it's primarily sales tax based, and it's restricted to be used for the programs or services that were realigned to the county from the state. And this has happened on 3 occasions, as you can see here, in 1991, in 2011, and just this past year with the juvenile justice realignment. Public safety sales tax is funded by a half-cent sales tax, and it's allocated to the district attorney's office and to the sheriff's department to fund public safety efforts. The Mental Health Services Act, or MHSA, this is funded through state income taxes, and this requires a 3-year spending plan, community input, and funding allocated and restricted to mental health services as identified in that 3-year spending plan. In total, these funding sources amount to $2.4 billion and make up 27% of the total revenue for the county. And then this pie chart here shows how the $8.8 billion is budgeted. So as you can see here, about 30% of the $8.8 billion is budgeted for salary and employee benefits. And this is for the over 18,000 employees who provide for the daily operations for the county's 22 departments. They help deliver the services to the community and also provide for the community or the county mandated programs and services. 25% is for services and supplies, which is mostly for contracted services, working with the county to meet the requirements or mandates for the federal, state, or county programs. Other charges comprise 17%. This is approximately $1.5 billion, and this includes the assistance payments to the citizens of Orange County. Appropriations provided to the departments set their budgets. The departments may not expend beyond their appropriation, and any adjustments needed are included in the scheduled budget updates brought to the board for approval as discussed before. And that was in September and January and sometimes in April. So during the public budget hearings, you will hear these terms repeatedly: net county cost limits, restore level of service, and expand level of service. As mentioned, NCC, or net county cost, that's the general purpose revenue that's allocated to the general fund departments. Then as the departments are building their budgets, they are focused on their current level of operations. They are looking at their mandated services. They are looking at their match or maintenance of effort requirements, and they identify the level of appropriations they need to be successful for the year, what their expenditures are. Then they look at their multiple funding sources, and often the funding is sufficient. When the funding is not sufficient, the departments will include in their budget a reduced level of service augmentation. That's included in their base budget, and that identifies the amount of funding that is needed to maintain their current level of service and what they plan to reduce should that funding not be available. And this is typically their lowest priority item. This is included, like I mentioned, in their base budget, and then another augmentation is submitted for board approval to restore the funding and appropriations and positions, if applicable, in order to maintain the current level of service. Departments may also want to expand their service due to new mandates or increased workloads, and these requests may require net county cost, or they may be funded by other funding sources. Both, though, however, are submitted through an expand augmentation. For the restore and expand augmentations, the county budget office completes an analysis and makes a CEO recommendation that is included in the public budget hearings. So, for the fiscal year 22-23 recommended budget, here is the countywide summary of the requests and CEO recommendations to restore appropriations, funding, and positions. The total recommendation for board approval is for $54 million in appropriations and funding and restoration of 219 positions. You'll note here that the funding is identified as either ongoing, meaning that funding will be included in their net county cost limits in the subsequent years, or as one-time funding, meaning it will not. So typically, ongoing funding goes with ongoing costs, such as salary and employee benefits, ongoing programs, and one-time funding goes with one-time costs, such as a vehicle purchase or capital improvements. And again, these recommendations will be presented at the program level at the public budget hearings to the board for their straw votes and inclusion into the annual budget. Similarly, here is the county-wide summary of the request and CEO recommendations to expand a department's current level of service. The requests include positions, appropriations, offset either by revenue or requests for net county cost. The CEO recommendation is for $25 million in appropriations, offset by $18.6 million in revenue, which is not included on this slide, and $6.4 million in net county cost and the addition of 157 positions, which is detailed on this slide. And highlights included in these expand augmentations are implementing a street medicine program, which will focus on the care coordination of the health needs of homeless individuals, expanding the Behavioral Health Bureau of the Sheriff's Department to provide a dedicated specialized response team to address calls for service that have a mental health nexus and also increase diversion opportunities. There is an expansion to support the Office of Aging and the housing funding strategies. We also are addressing workload issues and replacing some older, high-mileage vehicles to ensure operational needs are met. And with that, we're going to now turn over to the COVID overview, which is exciting stuff from Michelle.
Thank you, Kim. Well, I don't know if COVID is exciting, but it sure has been challenging for everybody over the last few years. And this slide shows some of the funding sources that the county has received in order to help us deal with the challenges over the last few years. And so you could see the first is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That's FEMA. I'm sure everybody's heard about FEMA before. And the county has submitted claims of $183 million to FEMA. We've received $88 million of that, and we are still waiting to receive $95 million. And I mentioned earlier that we have drawn $80 million out of reserves. And you can see that the $95 million that is still outstanding, once we receive that, then we'll be able to replenish our reserves. So it's just a timing issue for us. And then the CARES Act, that was the $554 million that the county received towards the start of the COVID pandemic. And that funding had to be spent, right? It was time restricted. So the county has already used all $554 million in response to the pandemic. And all of the information, all of the expenditures associated with that $554 million is on the county's website. There is a link from the county's homepage towards the bottom on the right-hand side. And at the bottom of this slide is the link, right, or the website address for that information. And the CARES Act monies, you'll see, was used for to help out restaurants and small businesses, hospitals, and cities and childcare facilities, just for a few examples. And then the next item is the epidemiology and laboratory capacity funding. And that's about $115 million that is specific to our healthcare agency and their response to the pandemic. So that helped them staff up, right, add additional staff in response to the pandemic, buy new lab equipment, and for testing associated with COVID, for example. And then we have our American Rescue Plan Act monies, or ARPA monies. And all of the information associated with the ARPA funds is also on our website at that address, the link on the county's homepage. And the ARPA monies, right, so ARPA was approved or signed into law back in March 2021. The county did already receive the first tranche of the ARPA monies back in May of last year, so May 21st. And the second tranche is cannot be received any earlier than 12 months after the first tranche. And so May 21st of 2022 has passed, so we should be receiving the second tranche any day now. And it will be the same amount, $308 million. So when you add it up, it's about $317 million of ARPA monies between the two tranches. And the county has to allocate those monies, so commit those monies by the end of calendar year 2024, and then it has to be spent by the end of 2026. And again, we just provide the website in case you want to look at the ARPA or the CARES Act information in more detail. And this slide just provides just very high level information on some of the uses of the ARPA money to date. The website has all of this information, plus the dollar amount that was allocated for this purpose, and the expenditure information also. This slide references OC Cares and the use of the ARPA monies for the county's OC Cares initiative. And Kim is going to talk in detail about OC Cares. And I started smiling when, you can't see me, right? But I started smiling when I said OC Cares, because this is a county-wide initiative to reduce the number of individuals in the county's various systems of care. And for example, and Kim's going to go into detail about this, but we have those that we provide services to. They may be incarcerated. They may have mental health issues. They may be homeless. And so the goal is to strategically wrap them in services, provide care coordination, case management, until the point where they can be self-sufficient and they no longer need us. So we're very excited about that initiative and have dedicated some of the ARPA funding to the OC Cares initiative. So the board approved $40 million for the second Be Well campus. We have our first mental health campus located in the city of Orange. The Be Well 2 campus will be in the unincorporated area, so it's county-owned property in the city of Irvine. And then we have our juvenile campus. That's 60 million, said 40 million, that was tied to Be Well too, but $60 million for a new youth transitional center on our juvenile campus, so next to Juvenile Hall. Our juvenile facilities are quite old, and so this will provide us with an opportunity to enhance mental health services for our juvenile population, our vocational services for the juvenile population, so they have a successful transition back out into the community. And then starting on February 1st through March 11th, the county did accept public comment related to the use of the ARPA monies. And so the next two items, the coordinated case management / homelessness and housing, were two areas that were consistently referenced by the public in their comments. And I did read all of the public comment so that the public's comments could be taken into consideration when we're making recommendations to the board on the use of the ARPA monies. And so there's $27 million for each of these initiatives, which were also consistent with the county's OC Cares initiative. So when we were reviewing the county's comments, it was very helpful that some of those were consistent with what the county's already working on. And again, there's that website if you want more detail about the expenditures and use of the ARPA monies. And so now Kim's going to come back up, and she's going to talk in more detail about the OC Cares initiative.
Thank you. So Michelle covered a lot of the details, but basically the OC Cares initiative, it just links the various systems of care in the County of Orange to provide that full care coordination and services for individuals. We're addressing their immediate needs and their underlying issues with the goal of self-sufficiency. We've made the progress, as Michelle mentioned, with the Be Well facilities. We've also have OC Links expanded. And then included in the 22-23 budget, we have additional initiatives. We are reorganizing the Office of Care Coordination to better address the needs across the systems of care. We have the capital projects that Michelle covered. We also are looking at a coordinated reentry center and support systems to help those reintegrating back into the community. And we also are enhancing our systems of care. So continuing on, these are also all the other initiatives that we are also addressing, part of the system of care. We did have the updated point-in-time homeless count. It was released last month, and the summary is provided here on the slide. The results showed about 5,700 persons experiencing homelessness, with over 2,600 sheltered and just under 3,100 unsheltered. This is 1,100 fewer individuals reported as homeless than the last point-in-time count in 2019, and also showed 900 fewer unsheltered individuals. So this information is being gathered. It's going to be incorporated into the county's housing strategy, as Michelle mentioned, and significant funding has been allocated for housing, and this includes landlord incentives. And you can see those projects here on this slide. For the affordable and supportive housing, this is also a strategic priority for the county. And as mentioned, we have a housing strategy. It currently identifies 2,700 supportive housing units to be built. To date, you see here we have 680 completed. We have 816 under construction or finishing up their loans, and 772 in progress of funding. So we have a total of 2,268 units in the current pipeline, and again, we'll be updating the housing strategy based on the results from the point-in-time count. Continuing on the housing, you see here we have $150 million invested in various housing efforts. The board approved the allocation to provide landlord incentives, as mentioned, and match funds to facilitate the housing availability and development. And the Mental Health Services Act continues to provide funding for permanent supportive housing for individuals with mental illness who are experiencing homelessness. And all of this is updated. The routine updates are provided to the board so they're kept apprised of the situation. But I really want to cover the state and federal earmarks. This is something that we started last year. We work through our Legislative Affairs Office, and they coordinate them with our state and federal delegation. We prioritize projects based on the significance and those that are ready to begin, but the funding is not available. It requires sponsorship at the state and federal delegation level. And from last year's request, the county was awarded $7 million in state earmarked funds and another $7 million in federal earmarked funds, as shown here. This year, we put a request in for $39 million, $16 million of which is in federal earmarks and $23 million is in state. as they're also listed up here. Again, the Be Well campus continues to be a high priority for the county, but exciting to say we also are adding the Youth Transition Center, a TAY Transitional Housing, the OKAYAK, the Orange County Intelligence Assessment Center, and a diversion program to also benefit OC Cares, which is going to be probably at the point of arraignment. And these are currently being worked through the Delegation Against Partnership, and if awarded, this would move many of the counties and community priorities closer to being achieved. And with that, we're going to wrap this up now with the public budget hearing and budget adoption from Michelle.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, so in wrapping up, the fiscal year 22-23 public budget hearings will be on June 14th, and that's where the CEO's recommended budget is presented to the Board of Supervisors. And the Board of Supervisors that day will provide the Budget Office with guidance, direction via a straw vote, and it's non-binding straw vote process. And so if they want to make changes or if they just want to let us know that they agree with the CEO's recommended budget, then that guides us for when we bring the final budget back on June 28th. And so that's the 22-23 budget adoption process, and that's with a simple majority vote. And so then after we have our final budget adoption on June 28th, we start the process all over again. If you noticed on the first version of this slide at the beginning of the presentation, July was missing. Kim did have that on the calendar that she presented. July is just our year-end closing process for the current fiscal year. And this slide just provides you with the dates again, so you have those in writing. And then, of course, after the budget, we kick off our strategic financial plan, so you have dates already for those in advance for when you might provide a comment at the board meeting for our budget or strategic financial plan. And I'm going to pause there. Molly, my understanding is we do have a few questions, so I believe you're going to read those to us.
Yes, thank you. First, we're going to actually go to the phone lines just to see if our AT&T operator actually has any questions at the present time. So AT&T operator, are you there?
Yes, thank you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question for today's conference, please press 1 then 0 at this time. Currently, we have no questions in queue.
All right, we did receive a couple questions via social media that I can go ahead and then just ask for the team that's here. So I'll go ahead and read them off. So from the People's Budget of Orange County, the first question that we received from them via social media is, how is given the majority of the budget to quote-unquote public protection, we call it social control, considered balanced? That is the question from the People's Budget of Orange County.
Back to the slide that shows the budget. Actually, the majority of the budget goes to community services. Yeah. So actually, you could see, this is Kim Ingleby, the County Budget Director. So actually, you can see here that $3.3 billion, which is twice as much as the public protection, is provided to the Community Services Department. So the budget actually is the appropriations, so $3.3 billion to community services. And as Michelle mentioned, the appropriations are what's needed for the department to maintain their operations. The revenue or the net county cost provided typically is to meet the mandated programs or services, their match, or their means of effort. Public protection is a mandated program for the county. Much of what community services is doing are programs or services that we are doing on behalf of the state or federal government, and they provide us the funding to go with it. So with public protection, we are required to use our general purpose revenue to fund. Thank you.
AT&T operator, is there anyone else on the line at the present time?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. We received another question from the People's Budget on social media. So the other question is, how is the mandated money for quote unquote public protection not enough that the county has to give even more discretionary funding to them versus any other department, even throughout the pandemic when those public protection departments did the least amount of work compared to, say, the healthcare agency?
So I assume they're referring more to the revenue side than they are to the appropriations.
Right.
So in terms of the response to, say, COVID, what the healthcare agency in the response was primarily funded by dedicated funding sources received from the state and the federal government. The entire county had a response to COVID, whether it was, increased cleaning, if it was the meal gap program, any of our meal programs offered through community services. Public protection also had a role in this. They do maintain the jails. They do have to care for the individuals that are in our custody. But there's no funding that was directly allocated to the sheriff's department. So net county cost wasn't primarily allocated to them during that time. It was primarily the county's allocation of the COVID CARES Act funding that was provided to us. Anything else you want to add, Michelle?
No, I think, Kim, that is accurate. It just depends on the funding source and the allowable uses of those funding sources. And where there's restrictions, the only discretionary or flexible monies that we have is the county's net county cost.
Thank you.
So this is there's another question from Facebook. This is a question from Kay Ripley. Why aren't we investing money in giving juveniles and adults access to mental health care throughput the community instead of only investing in those services through the carceral system? We would all be healthier and safer in the community members if our community members could access those services before it gets to the point where law enforcement is involved.
Excellent question, because that's really excellent question, because that really is the core of what OC Cares Initiative is. So with the OC Cares Initiative, we're looking at all the systems of care. We're looking at specifically the community correction system of care, and we are addressing all of the areas from prevention through the court, through in custody, reentry, and we also are looking at the same span with our juvenile intake population on a separate tract. And in that, the primary purpose is to get those individuals where we can prevent them from entering into the community correction system of care. We've invested a great deal of funds in public information campaigns. We are working with the law enforcement with that, as I mentioned in my presentation, a specific behavioral health response unit that will respond to those mental health service calls that have a mental health nexus to get the right individuals there to maybe divert them into services rather than taking them into custody. We also are looking at working with several cities right now where rather than filing charges, that the individual could be put into services. So we're doing a lot of diversion right now into treatments, into services, to prevent them from even entering into the jails. So that more information can be found on the County of Orange website, ocgov.com. You go to the CEO's office and you go to the government services. Government services. And under that, then there's the link for the Orange County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, the OCC-JCC. Those meetings are public meetings. They're Brown Act meetings, and all the information is available on the website at that link.
Mention the vision. Kim, you might want to mention the Vision 2025 document and all of the action items that members of the public could go online and read.
Yes, exactly. So on the OC Cares Initiative, and you go to the website, the OC Cares Initiative community corrections of care, we are reforming justice through intervention and prevention, intervention. And where there is an action plan, there is an implementation plan that plans to reform that system by the year 2025. So when I mentioned all of those actions, the areas, prevention, courts, in custody, and reentry, those are all pillars in that 2025 vision, that we have goals and we have action items and we track it on a quarterly basis. We create quarterly reports. We're constantly reporting out with all the major stakeholders, community, law enforcement, and we all are working together to really be collaborative and to change the stigma, see the person, not the condition, and to really get the treatment and the help to address the underlying issues, to get them to be self-sustained and out of our systems of care so that they're members of our society and awesome.
You can tell that they're very passionate about OC Cares and OCJCC, and they put a lot of time into it. And I can definitely vouch for that because I see how much work they put into it. AT&T operator, I believe we have maybe one call on the line for that, for our last question.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do wish to ask a question during today's conference, please press 1 then 0 at this time. That's 1 0 if you have a question. We have a question from the line of Pat Davis. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am so sorry that I came late to this gathering. I received no notice that this was happening. And my question goes to the concern over the point in time count and how that's going to drive some of the services going towards the unhoused. The accuracy has been questioned. But more importantly, for public access, I wish that you all would advocate for a hybrid version of the meetings, budget meeting in particular, for those of us who are not able to be in that space, both for time and other limitations. But participation, as we learned in COVID, could be enhanced by incorporating some sort of a hybrid setup. But I appreciate your efforts and look forward to an improved budget that looks at more community resources. But any response or ideas, I've asked Leon Page many times and Frank Kim, why are we not doing a hybrid option for participation?
We thank you for your comments, Pat, in relation to that. Obviously, today's workshop is more of a kind of a hybrid option. It's a little bit kind of a different than obviously a board meeting in relation to that. So we will obviously take your comments and obviously provide them to folks. But as far as the workshop itself today, we do allow people to come in person. We obviously had it online. Our board meetings are obviously online and in person. So people can have the options to flex how they would like to come in and see their information as far as that's concerned. We obviously have all of our information published online. So if you, for today's presentation, all the materials today from the public workshop are online. We do have our documents there available. So if you haven't seen all the information there, we've been publishing this. We published our all the documents for our proposed budget materials that are out there for folks. We invite you to come down when we do have our public workshops coming in, our budget hearings that are coming up in the near future. We invite you to come down and provide public comment. Again, it's a very important process and such. We do have our little cheat book that we put together for folks to take a look at and follow along in the process that we put together with our communications team here. So again, thank you all for coming today. We appreciate our CFO, Michelle, and our budget director, Kim, who have come down and have provided a great deal of information for folks. And again, thank you all for joining us today.